What's up, everyone? It's Hank with my workout on Wednesday, June 27th, 2018, squats and deadlifts with Jamel. Well, Tuesday's workout really aggravated my left shoulder and bicep, or perhaps it's the brachialis. Anyway, I was in pain for most of the day. Simple movements like getting dressed or undressed, taking a shower, drying off with a towel are difficult and painful. But this is par for the course. I've been lifting weights on and off since I was a teenager. I'm nearly 47 now, and I've been pretty serious and consistent for probably 7 or 8 of the last 10 years, working out on average 4 or 5 times a week, pretty much year round. And if you've seen my videos, you know that I'm working out hard with intensity, doing lots of compound lifts, body weight movements, and a fair share of isolation movements. And although my form is far from perfect, it's generally pretty good, and good form helps to prevent injuries. I'm especially happy with my form on these squats. And in this workout, I actually did 5 sets of 5 with 225 and with near perfect form on each and every rep. But with all this lifting for years and years, day after day, injuries are bound to happen. Lord knows I've had my share, and these injuries typically occur because of using too much weight, less than perfect form, and not being thoroughly warmed up. I once injured my neck and couldn't turn my head to the right. I had to turn my whole body. Currently, right now, old injuries in my left bicep and left shoulder, probably rotator cuff, are acting up. But there have been many times, there have been times when my shoulder hurt so bad I couldn't even raise my arm above my head. And the first time I injured my bicep, I literally could not lift more than a 10-pound dumbbell. It took me a full year to rehabilitate that injury. But by far the worst injury I have ever sustained in my life was just over 1 year ago. I was doing squats with 225 with Jamel, like you're seeing here, except my form wasn't as good then as it is now, and I hurt my hip and lower back. Sitting down was painful. Going from a standing to a seated position was excruciating. Standing back up was even worse. I could barely bend down, and I had to do it very slowly and with lots of pain. Then my back would just lock in that bent over position, and I literally could not stand back up. The pain was extreme. This went on for weeks and weeks. But look at me today. 1 year later, let's observe my 5th set
Got 2 more, man.
of squats with 225. You would never know that 1 year ago I couldn't even bend down to tie my shoe.
Nice. 1 more.
Just finishing up this last of 5 sets.
There you go. Go, go, go.
Pretty good. And now, then came the deadlifts. And here I am doing 10 reps with 315, which I do regularly now. A few weeks ago, me and the boys did 10 reps with 330, for crying out loud. So not only have I completely rehabilitated that hip and lower back injury, I'm now stronger than I've ever been, even though I'm older than I've ever been. And no, the thought of going to the doctor never crossed my mind, because after all, what's a doctor going to do except prescribe drugs like opioids or something? I don't want to numb myself to the pain because A, I can live with it, and B, the pain is useful. It helps to guide the rehabilitation process and prevents you from making it worse. So the prescription for rehabbing an injury boils down to 3 things. 1, you need to give an injured body part more rest, but you cannot just stop lifting or doing exercise. Stretch it, move it, use it or lose it, basically. Second, start over using the lightest weight you need to use. For example, when I hurt my bicep, I couldn't curl with anything more than a 10-pound dumbbell, so I used that to do curls until I could move up to 12.5 pounds, and so on. Eventually, I was back to using 40-pound dumbbells without pain. Third, do movements that you can do. My left arm is pretty much out of commission for at least a couple of days, but that doesn't mean I can't do squats and deadlifts. And I notice that when I do an overhead pressing movement, my shoulder feels okay, but when I move my arm in the angle of an inclined bench press, ouch. So I will back off the weights and do light pressing movements at angles that don't hurt, and take a break from angles that do hurt. So this is how we work around injuries. It's necessary to do this because it signals the body that it must heal, because the environment requires it. You have to give your body a reason to heal, bite the bullet, and work around that injury. I know I will be doing that for a little while, and let's conclude with Jamel doing his mandatory single with 385. Easy. See you at the next workout.
Easy.